Hey everyone, and even though you've probably seen about a million different takes on this type of ranking already, I thought I'd give my own personal ranking of all of the projects, all of the MCU projects that were released in 2022 ranked. There's a total of 8 MCU projects that were released last year, pretty freaking crazy, but So I think I speak for everyone when I say that the MCU in 2022 was very disappointing, and a lot of the projects we got last year were not very good. So here we go with number 8, the worst MCU project last year, and I think you all were expecting this. You all saw this coming. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Now, I made 5 videos last year talking about this show, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but I'll give you the highlights. The show is supposed to be a comedy mainly, and it's not funny to me. I didn't really find a single episode to be funny. There were little tiny moments that I thought were funny, but there wasn't like episodes that had me bursting out with laughter. I just didn't find it very funny. It also just doesn't make sense at times. And personally for me, I find Jennifer Walters, the main character, to be a little bit unlikable. She's very arrogant. I hate the way that they portray a lot of characters. I hate the way that they portray the Hulk. I hate the way that they portray Abomination. I hate the way that they portray Daredevil. I mean, I liked their portrayal of Matthew Murdock, but when he's in the costume, I wasn't really a fan of that. Kevin Feige probably had it in his mind that the finale was gonna blow everyone's minds, and while a lot of people were very surprised by the finale, and liked the finale a lot, I think that just because it was different than what we're used to seeing in an MCU finale, that doesn't mean it's automatically good. I didn't like the finale. I thought it was really stupid. But yeah, I've said pretty much everything I could say about this show, so we're just gonna move on. At number 7, the worst MCU movie we got last year is Thor: Love and Thunder. I was actually surprised to hear that pretty much this film is pretty much hated by almost every MCU fan, and I was a bit surprised by that because I was really expecting I was expecting that the fan response to this movie was gonna be like, oh well, it's pretty good, maybe not as good as Thor Ragnarok, but it's pretty good. But no, I was wrong. People hate this movie. I mean, my god, the hate for this movie is just unbelievable. I mean, I agree, don't get me wrong, but it's people just constantly are trashing the shit out of this movie. And yeah, I think it's pretty deserved. This movie is really bad. I don't think it's the worst Thor movie. I actually do prefer this over the first 2 Thor movies, but this movie pales in comparison to Thor Ragnarok. And yeah, I know there's quite a few people out there who don't like Thor Ragnarok, but I think most people, even if they do not like Thor Ragnarok, they have to admit that Ragnarok just blows Love and Thunder out of the freaking water. I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder is basically all of my problems with the MCU condensed into one movie. It just does everything that you would expect from the MCU at this point. Thor: Love and Thunder is one of the most childish MCU movies ever made. And yeah, don't get me started when they go to when they go to Zeus to try to get him to help, and Zeus flicks off Thor's clothing, and then Thor's naked, isn't that funny? And then all the girls pass out because they see Thor naked, and oh my god. And it's this is the type of humor that you would expect from a fucking kids movie. It's unbelievable. And there's also the moment, it's ha ha, isn't it funny? Zeus is wearing a tutu. Get it? Because the joke is that it's a man who's wearing a tutu. Is that really supposed to be, how is that supposed to be funny? This is the year 2022. That type of joke doesn't really equate for humor. Maybe that type of joke would have been funny, 10 years ago, but in the year 2022, we're supposed to laugh because, oh, haha, it's a grown man wearing a tutu? Really? If I can give the movie anything, I liked the part where they go to that planet and it's all like black and white and like, there's no color at all. That part was pretty creative, but overall, Thor Love and Thunder is just like a waste of time. Like, it's so ridiculously unfunny. At number 6 is Moon Knight. Now, before you freak out and get angry at me for putting Moon Knight so low on the list, I don't hate Moon Knight. I just think that I just didn't really like it nearly as much as most people did. I really like the concept. I think that the first episode is really good. Like, it's a really good setup. But I think pretty much like all of the episodes in between episode 1 and 6, it feels like it takes 10 minutes just to get through one scene. Like, it's really slowly, it's so slowly paced. And I think that's like the main problem I have with the episodes in between episode 1 and 6. It's just that it's so slow. It takes forever to get from point A to point B. I liked episode 6. I liked the finale, that was fun. But I overall, I think Moon Knight suffers from being just really slowly paced, and that's the main problem I have with it. It's what it has stopped me from going back and rewatching it. At number 5 is the best MCU show we got last year, which is, in my opinion, Miss Marvel. Now, before I get into my thoughts on Miss Marvel, I have to say this show is hated by fans. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, I see more hate for Miss Marvel than I see hate for Love and Thunder. And keep in mind, I see a lot of hate for Love and Thunder. So that just goes to show you how much people hate Miss Marvel. And it's not that they hate it for being like, for having all of these problems. It's just that it's just it's so cliche for the MCU. Like, it just feels like another MCU, like, play it same kind of project, and it's, the same kind of thing we've seen a million times before, and that's why people are so upset. And, and I get that, I totally do, but I think that the show gets a little too much hate, to be honest. I think the show is a bit underrated. I don't love this show. I don't think it's one of the greatest MCU shows, but I think out of the shows we got last year, I think it definitely is the best. And I also feel so bad for Iman Vellani, the actress who plays Miss Marvel, because if you look at any interview with her, you can tell that she's been a long time Marvel fan. And so, like, just put yourself in her shoes for a minute. Like, you're a diehard MCU fan, you're a diehard Marvel fan, and you get cast to play Miss Marvel in the MCU. Like, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, the fans just hate the project you're in. And, like, that's why I feel so bad for her, because, like, I don't know what she thinks of all the backlash to Miss Marvel. I don't know. Maybe she agrees. Who knows? But it's like, obviously, she has to keep that out of the public. She can't go into interviews saying, yeah, I was very disappointed with the way they handled Miss Marvel. But, like, she has to promote it, I get it, but I really wonder what she thinks of all the fan backlash, and I feel really bad because, this show is absolutely trashed by fans, and I think that, and of course, like, none of it is at the fault of Iman Vellani. In fact, I actually think that Iman Vellani is the best part about the show. I think she's by far the most entertaining aspect of the show. The character of Kamala Khan is a character I really think is really interesting, and is one of the most interesting new characters we got in Phase 4, because she's basically like if a fan from the real world was like transported into an MCU project and gets to, like, live out their fantasies and of being like a superhero and everything like that. Like, that's what Kamala Khan's character is. She's basically like an MCU fan in the show, except she's just a fan of, like, just superheroes and stuff like that. So I think that part of the show is definitely the most interesting aspect, but the rest of the show besides that part is, it's a little bit samey feeling, she slowly learns her powers, by the end she has this big fight with the villains, and it's just yeah, it's what we've come to expect. So yeah, I really didn't like the show all that much, but it did give me one of my new favorite characters in the MCU, which is Kamala Khan. At number 4 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, like a lot of people, I was very disappointed with this movie, but not really because I believed a lot of the rumors were true. Like, you know, just like Spider-Man No Way Home, there was a lot of rumors for this film, and you know, I didn't believe a single one again. So that's not the reason I was disappointed with it like a lot of other people were. You know, a lot of people were disappointed because they, you know, were wanting the rumors that were, you know, that were rumored for the movie. They wanted to see those rumors come true, and you know, obviously I ignored the rumors. So I went into the film, you know, with my own idea of what the film would be like, and I was still very disappointed. The main reason being is that I think the title for this film is extremely misleading. You know, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You know, hearing that title, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it would make you think that, like, Doctor Strange is, you know, travels through a bunch of different universes and, you know, has this whole adventure. But the film is not really about that. The film honestly should have been called Doctor Strange versus Scarlet Witch, because that's more so what it's about. It's about Doctor Strange trying to stop Wanda from what she's doing. She's trying to travel to another universe in order to, you know, I think possess that universe's Wanda and act as that universe's Wanda so that she can be with her children that she never got to have. And while I think that aspect of the film is really good, I think that having Wanda as the villain makes for a really not only very interesting villain, but her, you know, you understand her motivations. It makes sense. But the problem with the title Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, again, it's misleading. You know, you don't know what you're really going to get. With a title like that, you'd think that Doctor Strange is going to travel across like 50 different universes, but in reality, he only travels to like 2 or 3 in this movie, which is crazy. But yeah, it's only like 2 or 3 universes. And you have the part where, you know, Doctor Strange is captured by the Illuminati and he meets all the members, and that's supposed to be like the big like fan service, like mind blown moment where you see Reed Richards for the first time in the MCU, you know, played by John Krasinski, which is really cool, I might add. Like, I do really think that part was really exciting because, you know, John Krasinski was like the fan cast that everyone wanted to play Reed Richards, so the fact that they got John Krasinski is really cool. And, you know, you see Captain Marvel, Captain Carter, you know, Black Bolt, whatever, Professor Xavier, you know, it's all cool, but like then you get that dumbass scene, which is like one of the stupidest moments in any MCU film, where, you know, Wanda shows up to, you know, kill the Illuminati, and they're like, wow, the building's been breached, you know, we better check this out, guys, you know. So Reed Richards, you know, goes to confront Wanda, and I know everybody's clowned on this scene, you know, everybody has said everything that needs to be said about this scene, and I will defend it in one regard. I think people are being a little bit too harsh on Reed Richards for telling Wanda Black Bolt's powers. But here's the thing. I would defend that in this regard because, like, Reed Richards is not trying to harm Wanda, and he doesn't know what Wanda's capable of. You know, obviously we as an audience know that what Wanda is capable of, but, like, you know, Reed Richards doesn't know that. He doesn't have a Scarlet Witch in his universe. You know, he's not aware of her powers and everything. So, you know, he thinks that Black Bolt is like a huge deal, and so that's why he tells Wanda, you know, Black Bolt can destroy you with one whisper from his mouth. You know, that's all it'll take. So, you know, because his goal is not to kill Wanda, it's to help Wanda. So, you know, that's why Reed just lets her off with a warning, you know, like, this is what he can do, you know, like, just a warning. So I think people are, like, clowning on that moment a little bit too much, but what I will agree with everyone else on is I think it's really freaking stupid how, you know, as soon as Black Bolt is killed by Wanda, which is a really cool death, might I add, like, Reed Richards attempts to then attack her, and it's like, you just saw what she was able to do with the Black Bolt, so why are you now attempting to attack her? And so, of course, Reed Richards gets turned into spaghetti. So, you know, then the most stupid part of the entire scene is that when Reed Richards is getting killed, Captain Marvel and Captain Carter just stand there with these stupid looks on their faces like, what do we do? Like, do something. Like, it's so stupid. Like Wanda's killing all of your friends and the two of you are just standing there with, like, and you have no idea what the fuck to do. Like, do something, you idiots. But yeah, that's by far the stupidest moment in this movie. And it's also really stupid. There's another moment where Doctor Strange and what's her name, Christine, I think her name is, I don't know. So him and Christine and, you know, America Chavez are running away from Wanda, who's, again, keep in mind, she's trying to kill them, and, you know, she's on a murderous rampage, and, like, they have to get past, they have this lock or something they have to get past, and they don't know what to do. So Christine just pulls out this thing that she gave Steven a while back or something, and it actually, like, ends up helping them get past. And, like, Steven just kind of looks at it like, well, thank you. And he's like, they have this like love type moment where they look at each other and like, oh, they're so in love. But it's like, you idiots, like, you need to hurry up and get the fuck out of there because there's a murderous psychopath chasing you that's like moments behind you right now. So, like, you know, that I remember when I saw it in theater, I was just rolling my eyes because, like, it's so stupid. But overall, like, you know, I've been talking nothing but negatives, but, like, you know, this film is at number 4, so, you know, obviously it's not all bad. I really do, I do enjoy this movie. I think it's very entertaining. It's just that I was disappointed that there wasn't more multiverse aspects to the film because, you know, of the title. I understand why, like, kind of why they titled it the way they titled it, because, like, you know, the whole point of Scarlet Witch's plan in this film is to be a mom. She's trying to, you know, be a parent and have, like, children. So, like, having the title be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness can, you know, so you can abbreviate it to mom. You know, Multiverse of Madness can be abbreviated to the word mom. Which is kind of silly at the same time. Like, I understand why they did that, but it's kind of silly because, like, then if you read the title that way, it's Doctor Strange in the Mom, which is hilarious. But, you know, I just wish, I understand what they were trying to do with the title, but I'd much rather would have preferred if they just titled it something simple like Doctor Strange 2 or Doctor Strange versus Scarlet Witch. Like, it would have been less misleading. At number 3 is the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now, this may shock some of you because if you've seen my review of the Holiday Special, you know that I was very disappointed with it and I didn't like it as much as other people liked it. But just because I was disappointed with it, that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to put it high on this list. You know, that just goes to show you how shit the 2022 has been for the MCU, you know, when I put this at number 3. So I think overall, you know, there's some really good moments in the Holiday Special. It's just that I was disappointed with the comedy elements. I think that the comedy fell flat. There's a lot of really heartfelt moments, and I really enjoyed that. At number 2 is the best special project we got last year, Werewolf by Night. Once again, I didn't like it nearly as much as other people did, but I do think it's better than the Guardians Holiday Special. I was surprised by how much I liked Werewolf by Night. I really wasn't expecting to like it that much, as much as I did. There's some really nice shots in this special, you know. I really like the premise. You know, the werewolf stuff that they did was fantastic. You know, blood in the MCU is crazy. That was really great. It does still have some of the same MCU problems that, you know, that I'm getting sick of, but overall I think it was a very unique project for the MCU. And at number 1, probably shocking no one, is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, I did talk about this film already, so if you guys have seen that review, you know that I really liked this movie. Not only is it the best project released last year, I think it's one of the best MCU movies ever made. One thing I do appreciate about this film is that they actually really do take their time with setting up the new Black Panther. You know, like, Shuri is I think we all knew that Shuri was gonna become Black Panther, but I'm glad that the film didn't just like rush into it, because it would have been extremely disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman if they just rushed immediately into, oh well, Shuri's the Black Panther now, so you know that's taken care of. They really did take their time with setting up Shuri as the Black Panther. She doesn't even become the Black Panther until like the last third of the movie, I'm pretty sure. So like I was very impressed with the way they handled it. And yeah, overall the movie's just really well written. I mean, the villain is really great. Namor is great, you know, not as good as Killmonger, but you know, still a really good villain. The movie's a little bit too long. Again, they should have cut about at least a half hour from the movie. But yeah, overall, you know, the movie's great, and it's the only MCU project this year that I would like genuinely say is a really great movie. You know, Werewolf by Night is good too, but you know, it's kind of like more of a entertaining thing, not really something that oh, you have to watch this. Like, no, Wakanda Forever is the only one of these projects this year that I would genuinely recommend. So that was my ranking. You know, hopefully 2023 gives us better projects. In a couple weeks, I will be doing another MCU ranking video, and it's going to be a ranking of all of the MCU movies, which I don't believe I've ever done. No, I've never done an MCU movie ranking, so you know, that should be interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.